Live from our studios here in Ghana's capital, Accra. Good afternoon. Welcome to Weekend Central here on TV3. Also live on DSTV, channel 279. Streaming across the world on Facebook at TV3 Ghana. You can join us with your thoughts and your comments as well. My name is Godwin Asideva. I am Grace Hamwajiman. Coming up this afternoon. And a global leadership expert, Professor Adei, applauds President-elect John Dramani Mahama's Operation Recover or Loot initiative. Also this afternoon, new Patriotic Party NPP supporters in Techiman South constituency celebrate Electoral Commission's declaration of incumbent MP Martin Adei as MP-elect for the constituency. We have details of these and more in the next 60 minutes. Stay with us. Glad you've made time to join us. Welcome to the program. Renowned global leadership expert and economist Professor Stephen Adei has commended President-elect John Dramani Mahama on putting together the oral team Operation Recover or Loot as a campaign promise Mahama made to curb corruption and retrieve stolen state cash and properties. Professor Stephen Adei says the establishment of the team, even before the president-elect assumes office, shows he means business. He spoke on hot issues with my colleague, Kemni Amano.
Then we have the issue of the incoming government planning to, well, already began oral, the Operation Recover or Loot, as part of the...
I thought they were going to teach us English.
because of the...
oral.
I see,
you see,
I see.
From where I come from, the difference between the oral and the
oral
are the same.
I absolutely understand. But does it have the capacity to get us where we want to get to as far as minimizing corruption?
The answer is yes and no. First of all, there's no legal basis for oral. As it is now, unless after 7th they make a law, it can only be investigative and advisory. But it shows, hopefully, that his seriousness to deal with corruption. But oral as it is, I think should be very only discovery and pass it on to the appropriate authorities or make oral the corruption agency. Other than that, but as it is. Number two, I wish it would be kept as it is in terms of trying to unearth things and holding, say, OSP, OICO, and other things accountable and shrug to follow them up and prosecute them and the rest. The reason is very simple. The people on it, I like them in terms of their competencies, but most of them are identifiably NDC sympathizers or pure NDCs. And this is what really makes some of our efforts undermined. Everybody says, oh, what do we expect my nephew Ablekuma to do? Again, he will have to do something against the MPP.
In the same interview, he held John Mahama responsible for delays in implementing recommendations of the Constitutional Review Committee report. He also alleged fears Mahama's renewed interest in reviewing the Constitution is aimed at extending his tenure.
The president-elect has also promised the National Conference to re-examine the Constitutional Review report. What should be the focus in this re-examination effort?
First of all, I was going to call him John, but Your Excellency.
I'm sure he wouldn't mind.
I hold him responsible for not following my friends Atamil's. I think that Professor Fiajo's commission's report was one of the best that has been done in Ghana. For the first time, it was non-partisan. There was NPP, NDC, they had a good report. And I think that we have something to work on. And let's take it, tweet it, and quickly, the ones that doesn't require referendum, which is not entrenched, they should immediately use their majority, 2/3 majority, and their 2/3 is going to be there for a long time, even irrespective of the resolution of these things, which will be in court for a long time. Quickly tackle those obvious ones that the parliament with 2/3 majority can do, and then leave the entrenched ones. Somebody actually asked me, you know, the president can extend his with this majority. I said, no. That is an entrenched one. He can't.
Catch a full interview at 2 p.m. on hot issues on this station. You don't want to miss out.
Away from that, the NDC parliamentary candidate for Ablekuma North, Irabna Oben, and her constituency executives have refuted claims that they don't have their pink sheets. My colleague Joseph Armstrong is at her office in Ablekuma North and joins me with details. Armstrong, good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. What more have you been gathering?
We are compelled to address you today regarding ongoing illegal activities in the coalition process for the Ablekuma North constituency. The National Democratic Congress finds it deeply troubling that the Electoral Commission is in alleged convenience with the New Patriotic Party, and they are engaging in acts that undermines the fairness and transparency of our electoral process. Our initial coalition issues from the onset of the coalition process, the EC had exhibited clear bias in favor of the MPP. We wish to highlight a disturbing incident involving the district electoral officer in the person of Mr. Francis Opoku and the municipal chief executive for the Ablekuma North Municipal Assembly, Honorable Kofi Ofori, aka Bella. Now, these two individuals attempted to clandestinely introduce unauthorized and altered parliamentary pink sheets into the coalition process. These parliamentary pink sheets smuggled into the coalition center indicated a combined voter difference of over 490 votes, favoring the MPP parliamentary candidate, Madam Ekua Afriye. This blatant attempt to manipulate the coalition process occurred right in the presence of some security couples at the coalition room. Now, furthermore, at the district coalition center, the same individuals later claimed they were awaiting an additional 18 pink sheets, raising serious questions about the source, the authenticity of these documents. Additionally, some EC agents went home with electoral materials and statement of pool, that's a pink sheet, only to turn in the following day for collation. Have you heard this before? Now, today, let me put it in context. Yesterday, at the EC regional office, now, things really escalated, and it disregards for fairness by proceeding with the coalition in the absence of the NDC. And let me put this one clearly. When they began the coalition process yesterday at the regional office, NDC, our candidate, the MP-elect, and the agent, which myself, I am part of it, we were not there. But the MPP forced the EC, and they also accepted to begin the coalition process in our absence. Now, when our director, that is myself, when I questioned this unlawful action of the EC, the returning officer claimed they were acting on instructions from their hierarchy. Now, these are very critical issues regarding the pin sheet that we're going to talk about today. Missing original pin sheet. At the district coalition center, the MPP parliamentary candidate and her team admitted not processing original pin sheets, relying solely on scanned copies. The EC decided to use its pin sheet and requested parties to verify them before collation. 2, there were vandalism at the collation center. So this is what happened. Please note that the EC, before commencing the collation of the parliamentary results, admitted that they did not have full complement of the statement of polls.
And that's a live press conference coming to you from Arabna Oben's office in Ablekuma North. And Daniel Toyigan, who is the Ablekuma North election director, was the one addressing the media. And my colleague Joseph Armstrong Goldalogbe is there. Ore connected him subsequently to get details to know exactly what they will be demanding for. But we also know that Akuya Efie is now the MP-elect for the Ablekuma North constituency, where she belongs to the camp of the New Patriotic Party. We also know that some 5 days ago, there were some burning issues in a school, the Ablekuma Kwashaman cluster of schools that was housing some election materials and unfortunately got banned from libraries. But we know that there are some more issues panning out from the constituency, and we'll definitely keep an eye on that and bring you the details subsequently.
Let's switch camp and go to the quarters of the New Patriotic Party, because party supporters in the Techiman South constituency took to the streets in jubilation on Saturday after the Electoral Commission declared incumbent MP Martin Techiman South as the MP-elect for the constituency. The recollation at the Greater Accra Regional EC office follows a court-mandated recollation of election results. Martin Techiman South secured victory with 46,663 votes. His closest rival, the NDC's Christopher Beire Basongti, garnered 43,429 votes.
We thank the Almighty God for how far He has brought us. Honorable Martin Techiman South, our MP, won convincingly. In fact, he won over 3,236. And we don't know what happened in the process of collation. And all the parties, we have our internal collation. We did our worst and we saw that we've won. But these people brought mature men. And what even surprised me was, I think 2021, they asked us to disband all vigilante groups, of which we did, but not knowing that these people has kept their vigilante groups. And in fact, it was, I don't know how to put it, but during the collation center, it is I saw these people came, banned everything, and they thought that we don't have anything like evidence to prove we've won. But God being so good, we had a soft copy of everything, and we brought it, and EC has collated everything and declared that Honorable Kosa had won. In fact, he has won convincingly. We thank the Almighty God. In fact, this call for jubilation. The presidency we've lost, but this one we've won. So, in fact, we are all jubilating, thanking God, and this Xmas is going to be, it's going to be wow.
God being so good, after collecting everything, it came out clearly that Honorable Martin Techiman South won the election convincingly. So we are grateful to Techiman, we are grateful to God, and we are grateful to everybody, whoever wants the truth, and they follow the truth. And today it has been what? Clear to everybody that Honorable Martin Techiman South won the elections without any problem.
He has worked very hard for this position. If I mean to tell you a lot of projects he has done in Techiman South, you'll be surprised. A lot of things we have never even dream of having it at this time. As we speak, Techiman South is a regional capital. We've moved from municipal to metropolitan, all because of the effort of this gentleman, Honorable Martin Techiman South. That is why you've seen all the excitement, all the jubilation, because he has won. Today, Electoral Commission has declared him an MP-elect for Techiman South. That is why you've seen all this. And we thank God for what.
So the Electoral Commission has suspended recollation exercise for the Domekwabenya and Ablekuma North constituencies
as well,
because of the issues that came up yesterday when the court ordered
the recollation. So it means no candidate in Ablekuma North has been pronounced yet by any of the returning officers from the EC. But we also know that on Saturday, December 21, there were some declaration of results in 7 constituencies, all in favor of the New Patriotic Party. And some of the constituencies will be displayed on your screen shortly. We know that in Ahafo, North, it went in favor of the NPP.
Eric Nana Ajuman Prempe.
Exactly.
So he's the MP-elect now. We also know that the Insaum Adredri seat is now has also gone for the MPP, and Frank Anodompre is now the MP-elect. We know that when you go to Obuasi East, Patrick Boachiadom, also from the NPP, is now the MP-elect. Techiman South, we just heard from the constituent. They are happy that the incumbent MP, Martin J. Sakosa, has retained the seat. And then Tema Central, it has gone to Charles Forson. Okaikwe Central has also gone to Patrick Boama. Initially was declared for Baba Sadiq, but the recollation yesterday indicated that Patrick Boama is now the MP-elect.
Right. So regarding some of the issues in the Ablekuma North, we know that 62 pink sheets remain outstanding, and they will need all of that to resolve at a proper or professional conclusion, if I should say.
So also, the returning officer there was very categorical that he didn't have the full complement of the pink sheet. That's why he was not able to continue with the recollation process. And so we know that 62 pink sheets remain outstanding.
Also in Dom Kwabenya, regarding the recollation, we know that pink sheets of 3 polling stations exist in soft copy form. And Michael Kwe Jr. Was spotted at the collation center yesterday at the old EC office. We didn't see Ablekuma North from the NDC there, but we were also told that results there can be mentioned by the returning officer there as well. So it's also one of the constituencies that we should really keep an eye on, because it's been a stronghold of the NPP for a long time. And Rabna Obin, sorry, I beg your pardon, Ablekuma North is still having so much confidence that she might be winning in that constituency. But we will also keep an eye, since we have our lenses dotted in all sectors of the constituency, to bring you updates as they unfold. Let's now head to the Ashanti region and engage Ibrahim Abubakar, as he has been monitoring developments after 3 constituencies were recollated and declared on Saturday. Ibrahim, thank you so much for your time. Give us an insight on what transpired after the December 7 polls.
Well, so 3 constituencies were in dispute in the Ashanti region. For Obuasi East, there was recollation and there was declaration by the returning officer there. So the declaration was made in favor of the NDC's parliamentary candidate Samuel Abuaje. But later it came out that the returning officer claiming that he did that under duress. But then we cannot confirm the duress or not, but clearly if you look at the video, you could see the presence of the police party supporters there and during the declaration process, and also to the extent that the parliamentary candidate for the New Patriotic Party, Patrick Boachiadom, even signing the pink sheet and even being consoled by his party supporters before he was taken from the collation center. So for that constituency, the NDC says that they have won because it was duly declared by the returning officer, and going by what happened in Techiman South in 2020, if any party is dissatisfied or agreed, they should rather go to court there, because that has been duly collated and declared by the Electoral Commission returning officers there. So that's how come yesterday, during the collation, the NDC decided that it will not be part of any form of recollation exercise when it comes to activities within the Obuasi East District. But then when you come to Afuano North and Afuano Southwest, there was no collation, no declaration at all on December 7th. Now for Afuano Southwest, there was collation and declaration of the presidential result. But for the parliamentary, during the collation exercise, there were tasks that came to the collation center destroyed and burned some of the pink sheets. So that protest was halted because the NDC was claiming victory there because they realized that after the collation of the presidential, for the first time, they had John Dramani Mahama winning this votes there, winning over the MPP's presidential candidate, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. So that's how come they were claiming that they've won because since their presidential candidate.
Right, Ibrahim.
But for Ano North, there was no collation for both the presidential and parliamentary. And also that place during the collation, there were attacks that stormed the collation center and destroyed everything there. But Obuasi, there was collation and declaration. But yesterday, after the recollation and redeclaration of the Obuasi, I engaged with some of the constituents there who clearly were not satisfied with the exercise, even though there were other parts of the constituents who were okay because, you know, clearly, obviously, because we have supporters of the NPP and NDC. So some were excited, some also were not excited with what happened yesterday. Let's listen to what some of the constituents have been sharing with us.
That people are trying to cause commotion or what? Because this is a region where NDC don't have numbers here. But the fact is that this year, the people in Ashanti region, they have decided to switch from MPP to NDC. And Obuasi East was one of the constituencies that, what do you call it? The people decided to vote for NDC. So they are trying to change the will of the people, which to me, I think it's not going to hold because the people in Obuasi East will not agree.
When I heard that they have given the poll win to the doctor, I cried, and my tears were not tears of joy. The doctor sat on the seat for 8 years and didn't do anything. So if he's coming on for 12 years, then Obuasi East, everyone should look for something to do for their lives. That is what will kill everyone in Obuasi East. I don't understand how he won. I was just here and I heard the news. When I think about it, I don't understand.
Right, so my colleague Ibrahim Abubakar there with details and reactions from the constituents in Obuasi reacting to the new Member of Parliament elect.
Well, let's talk about the Adansi Asokwa seat, which has been flipped to the side of the NDC for the first time. And the MP elect in that area has been speaking. And Godwin Animile says his ability to snatch the seat from the 6th-time Member of Parliament for the area, Kobna Tahiru Hammond, was due to bad leadership. And he says that he is going to do all he can to ensure that the area receives the development they deserve.
Honestly, I didn't see leadership in him. And that is what actually gave me the courage to contest him. I know that Adansi Asokwa people, they deserve better than whatever they are experiencing or whatever they are having now. If you can have your MP insult you publicly because you have gone to genuinely tell him what your problems or your challenges are, then it means you don't have a leader. If our own MP could be before the media camera and tell all Ghanaian youths that we have coconut head and there's nothing, we have no wisdom in our head. No leader should be that bold enough to come before the camera and insult his own subject. The constituents are jubilating more, not because of anything. It was a burden on their neck, and they couldn't get anybody to take him away. By this time around, God's grace, through me, God has taken that burden from Adansi Asokwa. So they should expect that whatsoever opportunity that Adansi Asokwa is entitled to in this current administration, and as a member of parliament, I'll make sure I'll release everything to them.
Right, so we go back to Ashanti region and engage my colleague Ibrahim Abubakar. Ibrahim, there were other 2 seats which were also recollated. NPP's Osei Mensah Dapa was declared the winner for North South West, whilst Eric Nana Ajiman Prempe of the New Patriotic Party was also declared the winner for North. Give us details on what happened after December 7 in these 2 constituencies.
In those were the constituencies that there wasn't any form of collation. For North Southwest, like I rightly indicated, there was collation for the presidential. And just when they started that of the parliamentary, there were some form of disturbances at the collation center, and that even led to the killing of one person there because there were gunshots and other things. People came there, stormed the exercise, destroyed the pink sheet and that, so on and so forth. And for Anu, too, similar thing happened. For that, even the presidential was not even collated. So the EC in Ashanti region made it clear that for Anu North, they do not even have a single pink sheet that will aid them in doing any form of collation exercise there. So they would want to rely on the pink sheet that the political parties have. The NDC was also claiming that it doesn't have all the pink sheets, but after its tabulation of some of the results it had, it was leading by a margin of around 2,000. The MPP, which said it had all the pink sheets, said they are also leading. So when you look at yesterday's declaration, Nanajman won Kwesi Ebisei by a margin of 121 votes. So they are concerned. They do not know how the collation was done because pink sheets were not available. So they are unable to tell whether the EC decided to rely solely on the pink sheet of the NPP or how they did it. So they want that clarification. Already, NDC had hinted of plans to take legal action when it comes to North Southwest and also North. But for Boase, they are still insisting that they've won and they will ensure that their parliamentary candidate or MP-elect is duly sworn in on December 6th. So that was the issue that happened there. But this morning, everything is very calm there. People are jubilating on the side of the MPP because they've won. For the side of the NDC camp, they are being a bit tense, and they said that going forward they will know what to do. But they have given that indication that there is a possibility of legal action that they will take.
Right, Ibrahim. So by this, what is the state of the NDC with the Ashanti region now?
So when you look at the seat, now if you take out Obuasi East, the NDC seat in Ashanti region is now 7. Already they had 4, which they retained all the 4. That's Asawase, Edrase, Kedumase, etc., From Plains, and New Edibiasi. These were the 4 seats they were having prior to the 2024 election, and they retained all 4 seats. Now they were able to get additional ones. Adansi Asokwa, that's KT Amon's area. Then we have Akrofrom, where Alex Blankson was the MP. Then we have Ahafuano Southeast. That one they also won without any contention. But they were targeting all the 3 Ahafuano, that's North, Southwest, and Southeast. But for now, Southeast is on their side, but it is the Ahafuano Southwest and Ahafuano North that yesterday the collation and declaration went in favor of the New Patriotic Party. So officially in the Ashanti region, NDC has 7 seats out of the 47 in the constituency, and also 1 independent in Ashanti Central. So MPP will have 39 seats, NDC 7, and 1 independent candidate in the Ashanti region.
Thank you so much for letting us know what transpired in these constituencies. We'll definitely be coming to you subsequently for details as they unfold. Ibrahim Abubakar is my colleague in the Ashanti region. We now head to Tema Central.
And residents in that constituency have lamented a slow pace of development in the area, despite the constituency's loyalty to the new patriotic party over the years. Speaking on Saturday's declaration of NPP candidate Charles Forson as the MP-elect, they observe the NDC's Ibi Bright is the right person to cause change in the area. Christian Yali has the story.
After the December 7 general elections, especially with the parliamentary one in Tema Central, the Electoral Commission declared Ibi Bright of the NDC winner of this constituency. That was the expectation of residents here, many especially on the NDC side, who were, happy about the outcome. However, their joy was short-lived after the EC decided to recollate and redeclare the result. On Saturday, that was done, and the tables turned in favor of the NPP, and now we have Charles Forson of the NPP declared winner of the Tema Central parliamentary race. Residents are dissatisfied, and they say that they're not going to agree. They believe that come January 7, Ibi Bright is going to be in parliament for them. I have few of them here to engage, to get their thought of how things went. And so, really, what do you make of this? What do you have to say? What is your expectation going forward, indeed?
Okay, actually, for Tema Central, since Honorable Ishmael this time, we know it has already been set for NPP in my area. Yeah, I know that. Uhuru area, Tema Community 7. But unfortunately, this one, it was very shaky. Okay? Most of us were expecting Ibi Bright to win because this is the third time she has tried it. NPP, we voted for them for several years, but there's nothing different in Tema. Look at the street lights. Our roads are not good from ports, even on the port, Tema 3. On Beach Road, there's no street light on the Beach Road. Guy, where most companies are, tall and everything, Tema Nestle, cocoa processing, my brother, the roads are very bad.
Our MPs, when they come, they don't help us. We need jobs to do. For us, Tema Central, come and watch. We have nothing there to do. We are struggling. As I'm standing here, look at me. I don't have nothing to do. Now we need change. So we choose Ibi Bright to come and lead us, so that we also go.
Now the EC says she didn't win.
Ibi Bright is the winner.
We don't see why EC is trying to change the CI that she used in 2020 in this election. Please, we want you to send this message to Jane Mensah that she should try to abide by her CIs. She should go by the law. She can't be changing laws like that. We don't want confusion in this country.
Right. Those are the real thoughts of residents of Tema Central who are very displeased with the outcome and how things are turning out. They believe that come what may, possibly there is going to be a clash. Now that the EC is saying that Charles Forson is the winner, and they are hell-bent on the fact that Ibi Bright is the true winner. We'll have to see how things pan out on January 7th when the swearing in is being done. Christian Yali, TV3 News, Tema Community 7.
Well, we know that the NDC has generally rejected the recollation and says that they will take the necessary action to make sure their candidates who were earlier declared winners in this constituency get back their seat. We'll see how all of that pan out subsequently.
Her third time running.
Well, yeah. Time now for us to take a break. We're back shortly.
Right.
Hey, na no pay ukwanya wakasa kasa ubwafu. Enya me bra Mr. Happiness na ha me.
name is Gordon Aseba. Information Minister Fatima Abubakar says she expects the Vice President-elect and the President-elect, I beg your pardon, and the first female Vice President, Professor Jainano Pokwajiman, to carry a lot of people along, congratulating her and the President-elect on their election. She entreated the Vice President-elect, Professor Jainana Opokwajiman, to let her office reflect a positive change for the girl child.
Being a woman, I think it lies on all of us, whether Vice President or Minister or Chief Justice or EC Chair or Deputy Minister, Member of Parliament, Assembly woman, to carry a lot of people along. That is what matters. To reach out, make sure your office reflects a positive change for your gender, or is representing affirmative action in a way. So it's a wonderful opportunity. I congratulate the President-elect and the Vice President-elect, and personally congratulate her on the milestone and what it means to have her as a female Vice President. But I also remind her of a bigger responsibility to be the strongest advocate for women in politics, and also women's causes, for causes like free SHS, where girls who would have been left behind in a lot of households because there is no money. It should tell you that when the financial barrier was removed, people like Fatih got to go to school. So they should gatekeep for us to get more opportunities for girls.
Well, members of the Concerned Drivers Association are pushing for an immediate investigation into the gold for oil policy introduced by the NPP administration just when power is handed over to the President-elect John Mahama. At a press conference, National Secretary of the association, Nana Redu, noted the group is looking forward to the reintroduction of road tolls.
For the thorough investigation into the gold for oil deal, and then we're also looking forward for the National Drivers Day, National Pension Scheme for drivers, ultra-modern lorry terminals, and then work and pay, and also the reintroduction of the toll booth. The reintroduction of the toll booth. We are looking forward that the government should reintroduce the toll levy by cancelling the e-levy. You know the e-levy there is a bonus. And then we are looking forward for the reintroduction of the road toll. It is very significant for we the drivers. We made this call, I think, during the last administration, but it didn't pay a heed to us. So we are looking forward for the reintroduction of the road toll, and then the thorough investigation into the gold for oil scam, and then the National Drivers Day promise, the National Pension Scheme, the ultra-modern lorry terminals, and then the affordable work and pay vehicles by John Mahama. Well, you know, during the cancellation of the road toll, we really came out that our neighbors in the various countries, that is the Côte d'Ivoire and then Burkina Faso, these are the people who have been spoiling our roads for us. So why leave them without paying any toll to the states? You understand? We came out with the right time. We sent to the Ministry of Transport, Ministry of Ocean Highways. They didn't mind us.
And some assembly members in the Afutu constituency have expressed concern over what they describe as ongoing attacks by supporters of the National Democratic Congress (NDC) during assembly meetings. These members claim that whenever meetings are held, NDC supporters crowd the assembly premises, disrupting proceedings and making it difficult to address critical issues. Despite repeated attempts to involve the police, the situation has not been resolved, leaving the members feeling uneasy and unable to conduct their work effectively. Our correspondent, Akwesi Adei, has more on this and joins us for more. Kwesi, talk to us about the nature of the disruptions caused allegedly by the NDC supporters during assembly meetings. How frequently do these incidents occur?
Okay, right. So on the 9th of December 2024, members of the assembly converged at the Afutu Assembly premises to hold a general assembly meeting, and that particular meeting was disrupted. And then on the 12th of December also, members converged to conduct business And as usual, that particular meeting was also disrupted. And then quite recently also, members met for the election or appointment of various zonal council coordinators. And that particular meeting was also disrupted by members who are alleged to be NDC supporters who invaded that particular meeting. And so the assembly has not been able to round up their yearly activities as well as also planning ahead of the next year. And so the members are very concerned because according to them, it is running the administration of the assembly aground because they are not able to decide on critical matters that are very important for them to hold meetings on. And so the assembly member for Ndam electoral area is the man who has been speaking to us, William De Garcia. And then he describes the situation as very worrying and imploring the Ghana Police Service to offer protection for the assembly members just so they can be able to conduct their business. Let's hear what William De Garcia has been telling.
Good afternoon, the good citizens of Efutu and Ghana. We are here this afternoon because of what is happening in the Efutu municipality. We are assembly members. Behind me are members of the Efutu Municipal Assembly. Myself, I am also an assembly member. What is happening is that, pursuant to the Law Governance Act and the 1992 Constitution of Ghana, there is an establishment of district assemblies, and the Efutu is among the assemblies established. Per Section 3(2) of the Law Governance Act, it says that the assembly shall exercise legislative, executive, and administrative powers, of which the assembly exercise. What is happening is that after this election, we are here having our meetings, of which the NDC supporters invaded the assembly, they attacked us, moved us, and they sacked us from the assembly. The next day, which was on the 12th day of December 2024, we were to elect our zonal council chairman. They came here again to invade us, and also they were attacking us. Their conduct and attitude has prevented us from conducting our meetings or holding our meetings within the assembly, of which is against the Constitution of 1992 of Ghana, and of which we are here addressing the public that, per the conduct of the NDC within the Efutu municipality, they are doing things which is a contempt to the assembly, pursuant to Section 18(5) of the Local Governance Act, which states that the assembly in its right may summon anyone an act that seems to be contempt to the assembly. We are addressing the public that the NDC within the Efutu municipality are attacking the assembly, including the assembly members, in our various homes. And we want the public to know of what is happening.
So you heard William De Garcia, one of the assembly members in the Efutu constituency. We earlier spoke to my colleague in that constituency, Akwesi Adei. Akwesi, we'll definitely come back to you to see how the issue has changed, because we just heard William De Garcia call for police presence in the area to ensure they are able to carry out their duties. Thank you for talking to us.
Away from that, the Minister for Youth and Sports, Mustafa Yusuf, has reiterated the need for African countries to prioritize the development of their youthful population. Addressing the closing ceremony of the second consultative dialogue for the African Youth Coordinating Mechanism in Accra, the minister emphasized that Africa can derive enormous benefits from its youth if their potential is fully developed and harnessed.
Individual youth selected from across the continent assembled in Ghana to partake in the second consultative dialogue for African National Youth Coordinating Mechanisms, regional youth platforms, and youth civil societies. The engagement aims to discuss pressing developmental issues confronting youth on the continent and explore mechanisms to address them. The Minister for Youth and Sports, Mustafa Yusuf, urged African leaders to invest in their youth to derive the full benefits.
Africa's greatest lies not in the past or even in the present, but its ability to empower its people, particularly the youth. Let us rise to the challenges with courage, determination, and unity of purpose. And I want to say again that the greatest resource we have in our continent is not the gold that our various countries have been mining. It is not the oil that we have been drilling in our various countries, It's not the timber and the natural resources that we've been fighting for, but the energetic youth of our continent. How we use them and what we use them to do will determine our future.
President of the Pan-African Youth Union, Mumu Ndiala, believes that African countries can rise to their challenges when governments invest in youth.
Let's go up north because the Catholic Bishop of the Diocese of Yendi, Most Reverend Matthew Yetire, has urged Dagombes and Konkombes in Dagbon to disband any war-mongering rumors that have the tendency of causing chaos among the two ethnic groups. According to him, the two ethnic groups should reflect on how conflict affected development of northern Ghana and take positive measures against any forms of act that might lead to violence against each other. Most Reverend Matthew was addressing stakeholders on peace building.
It simply has to do with a rumor that we are kind of maybe warming up again to start some conflict between the Dagombes and then the Konkombes. So these ideas were projected from the media, and so we brought the attention of that to our Dagomba youth who are here in Yendi and to all that are concerned, and to appeal to ourselves, because we are all stakeholders, and to see how best we could address those situations that were projected if really the rumors are something to go by. And it will not end there, like somebody suggested. After we have interacted with them and listened to them and also maybe exhorted them as to how best we can live together peacefully, then there will be a possibility of probably coming together as a family to diffuse or to refute these rumors that probably are just perceptions or things that may not be real. But we first wanted to be sure that these things are not actually the driving forces of people living in fear.
Know for sure, in this part of the country, they cannot be the Goma without Konkomba, they cannot be Konkomba without the Gomez. We are going to move together and we shall move together. Irrespective of the differences and the vote that's coming out, we are finding a better way, a solution to make sure that we coexist, we co-live, have our great-grandfathers live together. We are
Christopher Marco is my colleague in the region. He's joining us on Zoom. Christopher, talk to us about the reaction of the youth to these issues and how, especially because he has a tendency to affect peace in the area.
Yes, so Grace, the youth have welcomed this engagement because they believe that conflict has not done Dagbon any. In 1994, there was this conflict between the Konkombes and the Dagombes, which resulted in some loss of properties and lives. And the people do not want this to resurface again. So dialogue is key, and they are welcoming the idea that the two factions, the youth groupings, should ensure that this rumor that is circulating in the media space does not have an effect on the people living in these areas. According to the people, they have lived peacefully. Conflict should not come and derail the efforts over the years in sustaining the peaceful coexistence that has existed between the two ethnic groups.
Well, Christopher, we'll bring that audio in our subsequent bulletins, but thank you for talking to us. Christopher Marco is my colleague in the Northern and Savannah regions.
Leadership of the Industrial and Commercial Workers Union has commissioned its much-awaited ICU house. The ICU house, which has been named after the former and late General Secretary Napoleon Poe, will serve as a place to address concerns of workers.
The idea for the ICU house was mooted some years ago, under the leadership of the former and late General Secretary Napoleon Poe. The ICU house, currently inaugurated, is expected to facilitate issues and negotiations for workers, and also resolve issues and grievances that workers may encounter with their employers. commissioned the ICU house. General Secretary of the Union, Morgan Ayawini, said the new house will build confidence of workers in the leadership.
This edifice serves as a rallying point for all members of the union, where conferences, meetings, and other union activism take place. It also houses the Accra Regional Secretariat, departments, and specialized units of the union.
He again emphasized that it was named after Napoleon Poe due to his hard work for the union.
It's indeed a cherished legacy which we hold dear to our hearts and proud to be one of the great unions in the African continent that articulates the aspirations of not only ICU members but more importantly the generality of Ghanaian workers.
The International Council of Nurses has proposed to countries with bilateral ties with Ghana to increase investment in strengthening the healthcare system in the country. Speaking at the 5th award ceremony of the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association in Accra, the CEO, Howard Cotton, also proposed an enhanced salary for nurses in the country. There's more.
The International Council of Nurses, ICN, has 29 million nurses and midwives across the globe. A survey by the council suggested that these nurses are underpaid, with their conditions of service being stifled by various governments across the world. The survey also identified the lack of decent work affecting nurses and midwives. Despite that, Ghana, including other countries, have entered bilateral ties to export nurses to those countries. At the 5th award ceremony of the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association, GRNMA, CEO of the International Council of Nurses, Howard Cotton, called on those bilateral countries to consider improving the healthcare needs of the nurses.
Overloaded, sometimes closed, and already overstretched and under-pressured staff, you are asked to do even more. The high-income countries who are recruiting African nurses properly and fairly compensate countries for the golden resources that nurses that you truly are, and that compensation goes directly into nursing and healthcare systems to strengthen your country.
President of the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association, Perpetual Furiampofo, was concerned about nurses and midwives who have lost their lives.
And more wisdom to be able to do the things that we do. We know that within the past year we have lost some of our colleagues, our nurses and midwives who work across the regions. We hear these deaths on a quarterly basis. At the same time, we have also lost our regional chairman for Greater Accra, and most of you were part of the funeral also.
Other speakers lauded the measurable contributions of nurses and midwives across the country. At the event, the most outstanding nurses and midwives drawn from across the country were rewarded.
I actually really hope that they could have spoken about some of the nurses who have still not been enrolled and they are still at home. I think it's something that is really important, and we are also looking at this new government coming into power, tackling some of those issues as they've touched on them as well.
Because it is one of the reasons why most of these nurses go overseas when you talk to them, because they are here, they are not posted, but there are other opportunities for them elsewhere. Why wouldn't they take the opportunities? Well, that's a package for you.
It looks as though you would also want to leave the country if you get the opportunity. Anyway.
Before we take leave of you, I have to inform all of you that at 3 p.m. today on the Day Show, Godwin Asiriba is telling us all about his life, how he started, how he has become Godwin Asiriba, Ghana's favorite boy when it comes to journalism, and answer all the questions that you've been wanting to ask him. So don't miss out on the Day Show.
With Bella Monday.
Yes, with Bella.
It was an amazing time with her.
We'll all be watching.
Right, so it's 3 p.m., so make sure you make some time to watch. My name is Godwin Asiriba.
I'm Grace Hamwajiman. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.